Greetings, it is I, your internet pal Shred Durst, and today we are going to see what we can extrapolate from learning a Lamb of God song. I first discovered them when I was a kid on a song called Confessional, and that was off their first CD that you could purchase under the name Lamb of God, to my knowledge, called New American Gospel. Now that was a raw, grimy album, and probably still one of my favorites to this day. The next album in line is As the Palaces Burn. This album, to me, is the most important album in the timeline for a lot of reasons. As the two guitar players, Willie Adler and Mark Morton, start to play together more, the merging of the two styles starts to become very obvious. In an April 2025 issue of Blabbermouth, Mark says of working with Willie, "I think what we have been able to develop in Lamb of God is a real trust with one another creatively. If there is some debate going on and someone feels really strongly about it where other people aren't sure, that becomes pretty apparent. And if Willie feels strongly about this musical thing that I'm not sure about, then I trust his artistry because I respect and admire him as a musician. And I think the same is true the other way." Mark seems to be influenced by a lot of blues. A lot of his riffs also focus on really complex voicings, like Phrygian dominant, and a lot of jazz chords that have extensions in them. And that's one of the things that we are going to learn in this song. So the first time I ever heard this song, believe it or not, I heard it live. I saw Lamb of God with Chimera and Atreyu at the El Corazon, which then was called the Graceland, and before that was called the Off-Ramp. It's in a disgusting little part of Seattle off of the freeway, and this is what I would call their humble beginnings. The next album they're going to make with Laid to Rest and a few other songs on there really made their career take off, and then they cemented it even further with songs like Redneck and Walk With Me in Hell. Sacrament being one of their more famous albums alongside Ashes of the Wake. So when I heard this live, the things that perked my ears up immediately was the use of these chords. So much dissonance and so much emotion inside of a punishing pattern. It utilizes drop D in a really clever way, without getting us too far away from home and opening up this piece of music to have a chorus part. This is a D, D, E, That is a fantastic sound. The notes that are the same kind of aren't perfectly in with each other, and they give this kind of phasey sound. So if you're going to use this chord inside of some of your music, a few of the things I want you to take away are the use of dissonance here. So if we break this down, we have D, E, and F. When you take a half step and you play them against each other, it creates a ton of dissonance. If you're trying to add dissonance to something, find the half steps in the chord. This E and F is a perfect example of that. Next chord is a B flat 11. Shifts this E to an F, which gives us two Fs. And this B, same dissonant step there, but giving this like kind of phasing chorusy effect in it, which I hear a lot in this album. By changing this root note, our tonal center now hears this E as a sharp 11. So what's really clever about this move is the D that E was previously a 9 to, now becomes a sharp 11. Somehow feels resolved going back to this minor 9 though. So learn these two chords and learn this little 2-chord vamp and try to use it in your own song. I love how this song also just kind of keeps with the emotional content as we go forward. There's like this triumphant sort of like arc to the song, which is so cool because after that, it just sounds hopeless. This construction is so smart. You start off with something that's pretty familiar, then you take everyone to kind of a dark emotional place. You bring them back out to this like triumphant thing, and then you bring them all the way back down. In the next part that breaks through, we transition into this more thrash metal sounding thing. So this is just D minor. And the guitar opened up. So when we go back, there's going to be this motif that follows us to the end of the song, which is so cool because it adds this little bit of badass kind of flat five blues kind of groove metal to the whole thing. So there's a lot of borrowed notes and borrowed chords from other minor modes. In your minor scale, you can borrow from the major scale. You can borrow from other modes. You can borrow from anything that is a parallel mode to the minor scale. So on the first time around, we're going to slide all the way up to this C, which is the minor 7 of D. It is also the 9 or the 2 of our next thing, which is our B flat. Okay, so it's a smart move, and it's got a great movement to it. Let me start this next phrase. So we're going to go back and forth between our E, our G, and this F. So, and end it with a trill. So, and then we're going to slide down to this G, and then we're going to go, okay, which is a minor 3rd, and our 9 again. And then end the whole thing with this badass. That is such a cool sound. It does this a couple of times, and it really just shows up just for that moment. And then it just goes to this like section where everything gets crazy. This is really fast. In the guitar profile, I would probably, if you can't do it cleanly, maybe break this piece off, drop the tempo, or do subdivision work on it, because this is really, really cool when it's clean. If it's played sloppy, this just kind of sounds like crap. Goes like this. And so that crazy thing is the same thing we were doing before, where there's 2 notes right next to each other in the same octave, creating a ton of dissonance, and then some phasiness by adding the same note on the top. So it's just got so much tension to it, it really sounds crazy. This is going to be on an upstroke, and then you're going to do your best to chug these top 2 strings. So but it's way faster than that. So then we do some straight up down picking. And we go back to this kind of flat 5 badass thing. And then after that riff, we come back to this guy again, except with downstrokes. So there's some cool chords to pull out of this. It really shows you how to construct something that's heavy, but still is a song. This is probably one of my favorite songs they ever have written, ever. They have other ones that I think are fantastic, but this is such a gem on this album and kind of the whole entire catalog. So for my Patreon supporters, it's the entire guitar profile beneath this with all the instruments in it. So you can take any of these and slow them down or repeat them as much as you need to go over them. I'm also going to include a whole mix of the song that I did with bass and drums, so you have something to play along to that is inspiring when you're ready to jump out of Guitar Pro world and stop hearing MIDI instruments. If you're going to Sweetwater to buy anything like this Hot Tone Amp Hero 2 that you have been hearing me play through this whole episode, or you're going to buy a new guitar like one of these sweet LTDs that I have behind me, Or maybe you're just going to go buy some strings, like these fine Stringjoy strings made here in the United States. Use my Sweetwater affiliate link and help me out, brother. If you want me to do more of these, let me know. You can send me a direct message or put a comment below. If you have suggestions for songs that you would like to see, I will consider them. Just put them in the comments, all right? You know I love you, girl.